1 Corinthians 16. Here in 1 Corinthians 16, we read of how Paul was encouraging the believers at Corinth to donate money to the poor Christians in Jerusalem. Paul planned to visit them and to collect the money which they'd raised. Let's pay careful attention to what he says. Upon the first day of the week, let each one of you, as your income allows, put some money aside and store it up so that no collections are needed when I come. To be a Christian means that we want to give, to be generous, and not just with money, but in every way. Because Jesus gave himself for me, God gave his only begotten Son for me. If you believe this, if you feel it, if you know it deeply within you, well, you'll naturally want to give, to be generous. But being a giving person is to be a way of life, and not something we just do occasionally. And I think that that's why Paul didn't want them to take up one big collection when he was personally present, because this might mean that their motivation was emotional. Giving should be from the heart, but also not on the cusp of emotional or personal pressure from somebody. Each one of you, he says, were to give. This might suggest that Paul was wanting each of them, even the very poor, to donate something and not to leave the giving to just a few. All of us have something to give. They were to give as your income allows. This suggests that our giving should not be irresponsible, and it is emotional, cusp of the moment motivations which lead to irresponsible giving. So I think Paul is suggesting that they were not to put money into a church collection bag, which was then held by a treasurer, but they were to save the money themselves in their own homes, keeping it with them, and then donate it when Paul arrived in person. The giving envisaged, therefore, was very, very personal. Jesus also speaks about storing up money. He asks us to store up wealth in heaven and not on earth. And I'm sure Paul had that teaching in mind. He's saying that saving up, storing up their pennies in order to give to the poor Jewish Christians was indeed building up wealth before God in heaven. To give to others will, as it were, transfer our money from earth to heaven, and it will there be remembered until the day of judgment.